Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wakelet podcast and back to the Meet the Team segment. I'm here with Marcus today.
Hi Sean, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm
excited for this. This is going to be great. I've never been interviewed before to this capacity. It's going to be fun.
Well, I've been looking forward to chatting to you in particular because you are the man behind the camera.
Not today. I thought I'd step on the front. I do that occasionally, but it is. I'm still getting used to it.
Definitely, yeah. Great to have you here.
That said, though, I kind of feel like I'd like to interview you, to be honest. That's really what I was looking forward to doing today. If that's okay. I kind of feel like I'd like to, switch things up a little bit.
Turn the tables a bit.
Is that okay? Would you mind if I took the reins for this episode?
Let's do it. Yeah. Why not?
All right, cool.
Let's go for it. Whoa, that was weird.
I have like a weird feeling in my chest. I've gone through some kind of vortex.
It's like when Dumbledore touches Harry Potter and they kind of go.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I wonder what all those spirals and things were. Did you feel that as well?
I felt it. Yeah, I totally felt it. Yeah, it was weird.
But you know what's good? It's good that I put my coffee down in the wrong place, and now it's next to me, so it's perfect.
Exactly.
For those of you who are actually listening to the podcast on the podcast streaming platforms, me and Sean have just swapped places. If you'd like to see more of that kind of stuff, then head over to our YouTube and you'll find more people swapping places. But I actually wanted to interview Sean all along. This wasn't something that I just decided to do just now. As a matter of fact, Sean is going to be moving on from the Wakelet team relatively soon. When the news came to us that you were moving out of the city, it came as a shock to us because you are, a lot of people's favourite, or one of our favourite members of the team, because you brought.
That's really nice.
Well, since you joined at as lockdown started. Back in March last year. Yeah, so your contribution to the team has been noticed and recognised, and your legacy will live on, and you'll be sorely missed.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So I wanted to interview you just before you headed off, and I've actually been speaking to the team to get some information about you that I can quiz you on.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this one. So.
He's actually, he's got a Wakelet collection and everything.
Well, the thing is, you started this series when we started the podcast. You thought, we'll do a little Meet the Team segment. Yeah. It'll be great for the Wakelet community. They'll be able to meet the people behind Wakelet, and I think that's a really nice thing. It's not something we've done much of before.
Yeah.
We feature the team in various videos and material, and we've got webinars, and it's all done in-house, and we do it ourselves.
To be honest, this was my initial idea for this. I pitched it to Elle at first, and I wanted it just to be a one-off. That was the idea in my head, and I thought we'll just get 3 people on the couch all in one go, and just kind of have it almost like the Graham Norton show or something like that. Just kind of a
proper
standard
talk
interview
show.
with and you chat to all the guests on the sofa about various things, but it was always supposed to be a casual kind of meet the person rather than any particular topic. But then it was Elle's idea because to make it into a bit of a series. I was like, oh wow, I didn't think about that, but that's a good idea because then it gets you some one-on-one time then with each individual person.
Yeah, which is good because you really get to dig deep and find out why they do what they do, what their motivations are, their passions, and why they're part of the team, why they chose to come here.
Yeah, it's been great.
So I wanted to ask you, how did your journey start with Wakelet? How did you first find out about it? How did you join?
Well, I was about to join a different company actually. It's crazy. I managed to secure an interview with Jamil here, and it was kind of this company sounds kind of interesting, but I've got my heart set on this other place, so I'm probably going to go there. But I still like to have a look around and stuff. And
well, you're a software engineer here, and was the other job a similar role?
It was a similar role, but it was for more of a games company, and I'm personally quite into video games, so I figured that's that's where I'm definitely going to be going there. But when I came here and I met Jamil, he instantly changed me. He changed my mind. He's got this way about him. He showed me Wakelet. I instantly got it, the product. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
it really
cool.
stood out to me, and I was like, this is awesome. I saw some of the videos that you guys did about going to America and promoting Wakelet and going to your conferences and things and
meeting users for the first time.
Yeah, meeting users and going to schools around the world. Saw videos of you guys going into Indian classrooms, things like that.
Yeah, and that was a really holistic experience for those of us who went.
It was things like that that really appealed to me, and I was like, oh wow, this people love this company. You could see that, the students and the teachers.
We're very fortunate to have the users that we do that really find value in what we do.
I'd not seen a community like it, and it's almost like it has, like Wakelet itself has fans and like people who cheer it on almost, and it was just really nice to see. I went home and I watched a bunch of the blogs that you guys had done, like you particularly, you'd done the video blogs, and and I was like, wow, this looks like a really fun team. Like it's something that I want to be a part of.
It's a team that you've fit in with very, very well when you started. That was like abundantly clear.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
It's why it's just a shame that you're moving on. But obviously, we're a company, and these things happen, and people move, different situations happen.
That's it. I've loved working here. It just happens that I am moving out of the city. I'm not going to be around, and it's going to be more difficult for me to stay working here. So that's the only reason. Yeah. But
it's fair enough.
I've loved working with you guys, and I've made some friends for life.
Oh no. For sure. Well, what I've done is I've been speaking to the team to get some intimate information about you, and I've been asking people about their favourite moments with you and memories with you and all that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna glance over to my notes here.
Yeah,
so
sure.
The first person I spoke to was Matty Gallantry. He's another one of our engineers at Wakelet who works with you quite closely.
Yeah.
And I said to him, so what can you tell me about Sean? Like, what kind of guy is he like? You work with him quite closely, so what can you say about him? And he said, apparently you eat a lot of food, but not just food that's your own. You go in the fridge and you take other people's food. So I wanted to ask you what's going on. What's that all about?
Oh man, that's like painting me as like a food thief.
Yeah, like apparently like people are saying things like come on man, like you can't. I know that you're leaving, but I mean you can't.
It's usually when it's not like I go in and steal people's sandwiches or things like that.
Oh, so it's true though. So you're admitting to this?
No. It's usually when there's like some cake or something, or pizza from the day before, or like there's always like brownies and things like that people might have brought in, and it's like if I open the fridge and there's one brownie gone, who's going to notice?
Oh yeah, we're going to notice, and we're going to make it known on this podcast. He's actually joking. He wasn't actually being serious when he said that. I've no idea.
Right, okay.
But the fact that you've responded in that way means clearly you've been up to something.
Oh, I've been rumbled. You've
been rumbled, yeah. No, Matty actually said as well. He said you used to have stilts as a kid.
Oh my God! Yes, yeah. I didn't. I forgot that he knew that. Yeah, so I was a member of a youth circus. Oh, cool. Actually, as a kid, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. So you know how like kids have certain clubs, like you might go to karate or judo or dancing lessons or things like that. Something to do when you're a kid. Kind of.
I did trampolining as a kid.
Well, there you go. Yeah, trampolining. That sounds like a lot of fun. But like there was a place not far from where I lived that was it was known as a youth circus basically, and it's for kids to go there and learn circus skills. Nice. And we'd put on shows and parades and things like that. So it was really good, yeah, and I really took to the stilts. Really loved the stilts.
For me, stilts are little upturned pots of like plant pots with string, and you do that, and I'm thinking, was that it? Or were these big stilts?
These are big stilts, yeah. So
really
you
big.
start off on little ones, like similar to what you just described.
Okay.
That's as far as once you've got your balance there, you move up a level, and then once you've got your balance there, you move up a level again. And you just basically keep going until you're at the highest level. And you're right up there, and to the point that it's scary to fall.
So, would you say that you were at the highest level of stilts?
Yeah, I was at the highest level. Yeah. I mean, I was at the highest level of I guess of standard stilts. I don't know. I guess anyone could make some custom stilts that just go like up to the heavens, but
they just keep on going.
But yeah, I mean, even as a kid, I was quite high up in the air. Like we had to wear knee pads, and like. You get taught to fall a certain way. Like if you're losing your balance, you've got to try and kind of throw yourself forward so that you land on your knees on the knee pads.
Right, okay.
Because you don't want to fall backwards, of course.
Yeah, of course, and cause injury. That's really interesting. I didn't know that about you.
So it was that, and also a giant ball. So like when you see in cartoons, when a cartoon character might like land on a trash can or a barrel, and
they've got to like run backwards,
running.
Exactly.
So there's there was a giant ball there, and that was exactly what we had to do. So you jump onto the ball, and you kind of like, you've got to stay on top of the ball, kind of like a cartoon character doing that.
Just got to stay on the ball.
Stay on the ball. See, this is a thing with
this is
with
where the
Marcus.
sayings come from. Yeah.
If I was interviewing you, this would have been something that I was going to bring up, is that like you and your jokes. See, Marcus loves to just make up jokes on the spot.
Just on the spot. I mean, there's a percentage as to whether they'll be funny or not.
Yeah. There's always a bit of a 50-50 one.
Yeah,
but you love your puns and stuff, don't you? That's such a Marcus thing to do.
Cheers. Well, I'm glad that you think so. I'm glad that it's met with positivity and not just you can't tell a joke.
Oh no, it's definitely a positive thing. It's always met with groans a lot of the time. Whenever you're on one of your little pun sprees. Yeah.
I need to be in the zone for it, I think.
Yeah. I remember there was a whole like epic kind of potato pun thing going on a little while ago.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was with Matty as well, actually. I forget what the...
it was like a kind of like a rap battle or something. It was like a pun battle back and forth.
We were going back and forth, me and him, and I don't know why he had a chip on his shoulder. I don't know. Like,
he
just wasn't.
It again.
Yeah, I had to just take it and just put it in the ground, and just, I couldn't. I can't actually think of anything else.
I can see you trying.
I'm really trying. You can see the veins in my head, just pulsating.
Yeah. Fast, just like on the ball. It's really good. It's a skill. It's a skill.
Tejas asked me to ask you about that tweet that one time. There was a tweet that went out. So what can you tell me about that?
Oh, it was just I think Wakelet, the Wakelet Twitter account, kind of advertised that the new podcast was out, and it was like I think it was the podcast with Elle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then suddenly I got tagged by the actual main Wakelet Twitter account, like you're saying #Big Sean represent, with like a gif of like the rapper Big Sean.
He loves calling you Big Sean.
He does, and and it was from the main Wakelet Twitter account. It kind of took me by surprise. I'm like, that seems very off-brand for Wakelet, but I knew instantly that it was Tejas who did it, because he always called me Big Sean.
Well, we all take it in turns to man the Twitter account out of ours, just to help out.
I feel like he just took it at that point. Didn't ask permission, just took the reins and just did what he wanted to do.
It's got to be done. But what was your reaction to that?
I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh man, someone like, I thought he'd logged into the wrong account.
Yeah.
I thought he'd just gone into the wrong account, and like I was like, oh, he's gonna realize in a minute, or someone's gonna realize and have to delete that tweet.
Well, even if you did realize at that point, you just got to own it.
Yeah.
Own it, exactly. and don't look back.
It was just so out of character for the Wakelet Twitter account that I could just tell it was him. It's still up there now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He loves his pranks.
He loves a prank. Yeah.
I think if anyone's gonna miss you, it's gonna be him. Just because he's gonna have less material to work with. He's gonna like one less victim for his pranks.
I thought he was gonna prank me this morning, because he came up to both of us this morning, didn't he? And he was like, "I've got some cake for you both," and just kind of stood there.
I didn't trust him. I was like, "No, there's something going on." And he watched us. He watched us eat his cake.
It was weird. I'm just standing there going, "Oh, it's very nice."
And it was very nice. It was very good. But I can guarantee one of us is going to fall unconscious in the next 20 minutes.
Probably like stuffed it with sleeping pills or something.
Oh yeah, I also asked people for their favourite memories or memorable moments with you. But before I go through that, I'd like to ask you, whilst you've been here, about any particular moments or memories that stand out. But it's weird because half of your time has been working remotely. Because obviously of the pandemic.
Yeah, with the pandemic and stuff. Yeah.
So
I think my memorable moments are always mainly around Community Week, I think. Like, I just love just watching Community Week and being a part of it, because it's something that's so unique to this company, I find. It's something that I've never experienced before. The whole kind of the live webinars and everything, and just the community getting involved, people putting on their own talks and things like that. Working with Tish, just chatting to Tish, actually, like, just shout out to Tisha Poncio, who's big on Twitter, quite famous on the social media. I remember when Tisha first started, actually, and she being American, it was like a sudden like a explosion. Like it was because we're all reserved Brits, and our meetings, even team meetings with like 20, 30 people on the call, it's all very monotone to a certain degree. And then suddenly Tisha was introduced, and she was like, "Hi everyone, I'm Tisha." Blah, blah. I can't do an American accent very well, so I'm not going to try. But yeah, it was suddenly like it woke everyone up, and it's like, oh wow, who's this? And I immediately messaged her on Slack and said, I can't remember what I said exactly, but it was like really, really great to have you on the team. I love your energy. I think that and then we arranged a chat, and we had a couple of chats since then, and like a video chat, and yeah, it was always really nice. Got a lot of time for Tisha, so Tisha's a highlight for me, and obviously Tisha's part of the community, was part of the community, and then joined Wakelet through that. Yeah,
exactly. She was just an educator. She was a user of Wakelet. She used the platform. She promoted it for us quite a lot. I just out of her own goodwill.
Yeah, exactly.
Now she's part of the team. So yeah, no, it's really good to have her. So I spoke to Elle. It's kind of weird because I've got my notes to one side. You see, I've not got the fancy Wakelet cards that you've got.
Well, actually, you know what? I'll tell you now. This was going to be so you did your research on me, and I was going to be like, well, I've actually done my research on you, and I have.
Oh, have you actually?
Because I was going to kind of like flip it on you.
Oh, so we're going to flip it back.
I'm going to flip it back to you, at some point. I mean, I'll let you finish what you're trying to say, but I feel like I'm a bit gutted that I didn't get to chat to you on one of these and be the host.
We can do it
So
now.
I was going to do like a quick fire round maybe with you, or
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've tried to organise this and prep this podcast in your style, but clearly I can't. I just can't. You are the master of this. And
I have my styles, and I like to go in a bit prepared, and and I felt like if you've got ammunition against me, I wanted something to turn it around and be like, well, I know this about you.
Okay, well, I'm scared now, because what I was the next segment I was gonna go to was what the team have said about you, and it's all quite nice stuff. So I hope this makes you feel bad if you've got some dirt on me or something. So I spoke to Elle, and she said that her favourite memory of you is when you and her both worked on the interactive Community Week emails and the weekly planner.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
it's like she really enjoyed that. I don't know what was involved. I wasn't part of that myself. I was doing the videos, but
I mean, it's one
of her earliest memories, because you joined about maybe 2 or 3 months before Community Week in 2020, the first one that we did.
That's right. Yeah. Elle asked me to do a kind of like an interactive email, and I'd never done anything like that before, because emails generally aren't very interactive. It's just text, right? So it was a cool little challenge, and we kind of like put our heads together and came up with something, and it was good. Yeah, it was a good one.
She also loves how much you love The Simpsons as well. And it's funny because when you joined the team and you started doing the showcases and those weekly meetings where we you talk about what the devs are actually up to, there was always a Simpsons reference in there somewhere. Whether it was when we brought GIFs on the platform and you had a GIF of Marge doing something, or maybe it was Homer going back into the hedge, just stuff like that.
I've got, whenever I create my like test collections and stuff, it's always Simpsons themed. We've been working on columns recently, and I've invited all the devs to my column collection, and the title is literally The Simpsons with like a big Simpsons image on there, and there's multiple images in there, so when people joined the collection, that's what they would have seen. So
I didn't know that was perfect. Also, do you remember at the start of lockdown in the UK, we're all working remotely. One of Elle's favourite memories with you is the kind of stuff that you were sharing on our daily collections. So for those who don't know, as a team, we were using Wakelet every day to share something with the rest of the team. We had a big collection with a mood board on it.
That's right.
And you were sharing that you were going on walks and you were doing different things. Yeah. And
they were good, those. It
was nice, yeah.
It was nice to kind of like see what everyone was up to, because obviously when you locked down, it can be a bit lonely, can't it? And you feel like you're the only person in the world.
Isolated, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a nice way of using Wakelet just to kind of stay connected. I mean, we were talking on Slack every day, and
of course,
we were messaging people and having calls on Teams and stuff.
It was really nice just to see kind of a board of what everyone's up to all at once, and it was a reminder that the real world still exists and people are still doing things and interesting things. So I loved those. They were really good.
It was nice.
I think we were trying to do one every day, wasn't we?
We were.
What are you up to today? What are you up to today? And I think like there was, I guess it eventually died because people ran out of content to put on there. I think Misbah had the most content on there. Misbah always had something interesting to put on there.
There was always something. Well, he's a beacon of knowledge and information
fact man.
And facts as well. If he was a superhero, he would be fact man. And speaking of Misbah, I asked him about you as well, and he said what he really appreciates about you is the effort that you made when you joined the team to make the work of the developers known and easier to understand. With respect to the rest of the team, particularly in the marketing and growth sides, who might not know all the dev jargon and might not understand what goes into making the column layouts or a Giphy integration or reactions or things like that. Yeah. And the fact that you would make presentations, and actually the weekly showcase that you do, well, you started like a weekly dev showcase for the team. Just to showcase what's actually going on. Yeah, so that's it. Those were really good. Like it brought people together, and Misbah really, is appreciative.
That's really nice that is said that. That was something that I noticed when I joined. Is that there just seemed to be this kind of knowledge gap between development and marketing teams, and it's like nobody really knew what the other team were doing, and it was just kind of an effort to try and bridge that gap and try to show that, okay, this is what we're up to, and just present it. And the whole idea was it was supposed to be short and sweet, and just like, this is what we're doing, bam, 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 and show the really interesting points. Use GIFs and videos and things like that.
Yeah, you made an effort to make them really engaging and fun. Thank really good. And what's nice about it as well is those weekly dev showcases have evolved into a company-wide showcase where we have the dev team, all the dev teams, the product team, the growth and marketing team. And everyone's showing what they're doing and getting really, proud and passionate about it. And it's nice because
it's great.
Everyone's so focused on what they're doing, they might not know what challenges other people are going through, or the wins, the successes.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's nice to celebrate all the little wins that we have.
Of course, yeah. It's a thing that I think is a problem in a lot of companies, is that and people might not realize it, but just as you just said, you kind of live in your own little bubble with your own work, and you just, because you know what's going on in your bubble, you kind of don't really think about what other people see and what other people know. And I think it's always a good thing to share that. It's always sharing knowledge is the key, and I think Wakelet understands that. And I love them. I love the weekly showcases, like from marketing. There's a lot of marketing jargon that I don't understand fully, but I still find them really interesting. There's lots of numbers and percentages thrown around and things, and
of course,
exciting projects that are gonna be coming up, and I love understanding them because I wouldn't know about them otherwise. So it's really, really good to see that, and I love that it's evolved into this thing now, and it's every week we do it, right? Every Friday.
I spoke to Amy on the community team as well, and she said the same thing. I've got it quoted here. One of my first memories of Sean is him putting on the first ever dev showcase at Wakelet, kicking off what would then become a weekly showcase meeting for everyone to get involved, and it's something that will continue to grow and develop even after you've left.
Yeah, great. That's really nice.
And how, you were new to the team, but from the get-go recognized the importance of working together as a team, and it's a legacy that will live on. So,
that's
really,
nice
really lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad that it had the impact that it did, to be honest, because when I was talking about putting this showcase on, I remember there was a few people who were saying, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think people are going to care so much, but after the first one, it really changed people's opinion. It was good.
So a lot of nice things that people have been saying about you.
That's really flattering. It's really nice that people have said such nice things about me, because I didn't know what to expect. So that's really nice.
But I shudder to think now what you've prepared. So shall we swap again, and shall we flip it?
Okay.
In the spirit of the series that you started, I think we should give the throne back to you one last time. Is that
okay?
Right?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah,
let's do it.
That was an intense one that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it kind of ruffled my hair up, that one as well. Yeah, I don't know
I can see that.
I don't know what happened with that.
That was me while we were flying through space and time.
Oh, was it? You just doing all that?
Give it a little ruffle. See, this feels a lot me.
This is not.
Right?
This is good.
Being in the hot seat is a bit nerve wracking.
It is. I'm scared to death. I have no idea.
This was something
You've
that
got the
I just threw
Wakelet
together.
cards and it's all perfectly printed and everything. Like,
Yes, yeah, I like it to be like a kind of game show.
okay,
just kind of-
okay, here we go. Right, Sean, what have you got?
All right, so I mean, I don't want this podcast to go on too long because we've already done, me in that seat. So
Yeah.
we'll just do it as a kind of like quick fire thing.
That's fine.
Say whatever you think at the time.
Okay.
But these are some of the thoughts that I got around you when asking the team. Have you got anything for me? So you are, and I can believe this as well. You are a very clumsy person, Marcus.
Oh, what? No, are people saying that? No, come on.
What would you say to that?
I
Do
would
you
agree. Yeah,
you would agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
think-
But the fact that other people are saying it.
Do you know what's funny is that
That's not-
even just today, like I feel like just the stories that you've told me today about your car broke down yesterday. So I know that's not clumsy. I'd say it's clumsiness
It's just
mixed with
unfortunate.
bad luck. I think you're quite an unlucky person.
Well, in school they called me Bad Luck Brooks. My surname is Brooks, so
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because you are. So you was unlucky even in school.
I can't remember what. But the thing is, it's nothing bad. It's nothing that people go through worse in life, but. It's just little things that just keep you on your toes and remind you that you just need to watch yourself and don't get too comfortable because we're gonna come after you. It just kind of feels like
Well, there's certain situations
the
that
bad
I've
luck
got-
monster's kind of like he's not doing anything too disruptive to my life.
Yeah.
It's just he likes to
Just trolling you.
like drop a little banana under my feet every now and then. It's like just like
just when
that's,
things are going well for you.
yeah.
So I heard that once you crashed a scooter when on holiday with the team,
Yeah, well,
an
that's
electric
on.
scooter.
Yeah, that was in Prague. It was James's birthday,
Yeah.
and
there's
we were.
footage of it, right?
There is footage. Yeah. I think.
Can we see that on YouTube somewhere?
Yeah, I think it might be vlog number. It's the one where we go to India.
Okay, we'll have to
but-
link that to the.
Yeah.
to the
So
collection,
yeah,
what the
in this
collection
we
is.
have a collection for every podcast that we do. If you're watching on YouTube, the link will be in the description. But yeah, the video will be in there. But yeah, we just landed. And the first thing we did was go out into town and walk around, and we saw these electric scooters. Now, in the UK, we've started to get them in some towns and cities, but at the time we didn't really have them. So, oh wow, there's scooters, like, and you get an app and you go on it. Like we were new to this, it's amazing. So of course we wanted to go on them, and but we only had one scooter. We're taking it in turns just to do a little, lap around this car park. And I tried to do an ironic dab. Just to try and be,
Such a
be the
Marcus
clown
thing.
of the trip. Yeah, like it's not something, I don't know. But I mean, I did get a few laughs out of it because I lost balance and nearly, like, I did like a Mission Impossible style over the hood, over the bonnet
Wow.
slide
Wow.
without actually touching the car.
Was this someone else's car?
Oh yeah. Someone else's car just in the car park. And yeah, so that was fun, and it meant that I had a limp. We're only on holiday for about three days, just a little city break in the weekend.
Right.
And I was hobbling for the rest of it.
That's brilliant.
And I remember
That's so
saying
you.
to the guys, "I'm so glad that I did that because it was so funny."
I
And
bet
that's
you
me
weren't glad
saying
at the
that.
time when you were flying over that bonnet.
Not at the time, but I mean, it's a story to tell.
Exactly.
And I find in situations like that, yeah, it was stupid. I had an injury afterwards, but it's a story to tell.
Exactly.
Just like last night where my car broke down, as you know, and I was waiting for about 6 hours before I got recovery. And actually, the fault with it was the alternator, the battery wasn't getting charged. So in order to get it home, the recovery engineer came in a van and he had a big battery that he put in the footwell in the passenger side, and he had to have some big jumping cables going out through the window of the car under a gap in the bonnet, in the hood. And it looked like something out of Back to the Future. You know how the time machine's all homemade and there's steam coming out of it and all that.
Car was about to take off.
Yeah, it felt like it. I'm surprised that I didn't end up going back in time or something. With the setup, it was such a homemade setup.
You've not been very lucky with cars in your life, have you, Marcus?
No, I've not. Have you?
How many cars have you crashed?
Well, the cars that I've crashed.
I know you didn't crash this car.
Yeah.
But I've heard you've crashed a few cars.
I have no injuries, nothing serious, thankfully. My first car, I wrote off. My second car, I didn't write off, but we were out in the sticks, and I must have gone over a nail or something, and the tyre got a puncture, but I didn't realise until the tyre had shredded itself, and I pulled over at the side of the road, and the tyre just wasn't there. I was like, that's a bit strange, where's it gone?
Yeah, I'm laughing about this. It feels a little bit insensitive to laugh, but I'm only laughing because I know that you're okay afterwards. You know?
It's fine.
It's like...
But I couldn't get the wheel off because the bolts had been threaded. Like, they were so worn because, you know, it was an old car. My third car, and I've only been driving for 5 years and I've had 7 cars. So my third car, I took it to the Lake District, and it was just a Sunday morning. I wanted to have a drive and just have some time by myself. It's relaxed. I enjoy my own company sometimes. It is nice. So I wanted to take some photos of my car. Parked it up on the roadside, beautiful views of the Lake Wastwater and Scaffold Pike in the background, beautiful. Tried to drive off, and my car was actually beached. It was stuck on a small mound.
Oh, no.
And in the process of getting it stuck, I also punctured a tyre. So I got a call out. The recovery agent towed the car off, put a space saver on the front tyre, and then I drove it to a garage, got it all fixed. On the drive home, my sat-nav tried to take me up this farmer's road, this private road, and I was like, nope, not doing that. And then it told me to turn around and go back. Otherwise, it'd add an extra hour to my journey. So I was like, right, okay, I'll do it. The road was quite icy because it was in the hills, and I ended up sliding off and going into a ditch, puncturing another tyre, a different tyre.
Oh my God.
Throughout the course of the day, the space saver wheel just moved around the car. It was very...
This was the same day that you'd punctured the tyre.
I've actually got a Wakelet collection on the story, and then it wasn't until I was stranded for about 5 hours again for recovery because I shouldn't have been up there. It was so stupid.
I wish I was there to see that and just see your reaction when that happened.
You can be. It's all on Wakelet. Wakelet's a platform for telling stories and sharing perspectives and experiences, and that's what I've done.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
My fourth car was actually quite decent. No damage. I just sold it.
Okay.
My fifth car, again, I bought it, ran it for a while, and then I decided I didn't need it anymore. I was going to just use public transport to get to work and save some money, so I sold it. And then as it happened, the pandemic hit and I was working at home, so that was a good move, save some money because I wasn't using the car anyway. And then my sixth car, a friend of mine sold it to me, but there was nowhere that I could get it MOT'd. And for those who don't live in the UK, an MOT is basically a standardized test that you have to do for a car in the UK in order to prove that it's legal to drive on the road in the UK. No company, no garage would do the test because they didn't think it was safe to do it. It was so rusty underneath that car that if they jacked it up and put it on stilts, the stilts would go straight through the bodywork. It was so rusty, so I had to get it scrapped. And then my seventh car I bought just about a month ago, and it's been fine. It's been running well, but this last week it's broken down 3 times.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and with the
more breakdowns than not breakdowns with your cars.
Well, here's the thing. I joined this company which helps recover vehicles that are broken down, and I only joined them on Saturday, and by Wednesday I'd used up all 3 of my annual breakdown call-outs. Ridiculous.
That's brilliant. That's hilarious.
But again, it's a story to tell.
Bad luck Brooks strikes
what can you
again.
say?
That's it.
So what else have you got?
You have plants at home, and they are like your children. From what
They
I
are.
understand.
They are my
you
children.
even have names for them.
I do. My,
so give me your names.
You've got Stuart.
Stuart.
You've got
Stuart. I was thinking like greeny or leafy.
No. Stuart. So there is a plastics company in the UK called Stuart.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And on this plant pot is the brand Stuart.
Oh, right. Okay.
I didn't know about this company. I just thought, oh well, wow, this plant has a name already. It's like a dog bowl having the name on the dog bowl. It's on the plant, so obviously I'm going to call it. Stuart. I'm going to call it Stuart.
So when he's my. Do you say, "Oh, there you go, Stuart"?
Here you go, Stuart.
Have
yeah.
a little drink.
I don't talk to it. I did at one point because I was very attached. But that plant has sentimental value, and I've got another collection on Wakelet about Stuart, and that'll
about Stuart.
Yeah, about Stuart.
Right.
Because it was a cutting from a bigger jade plant, a jade tree, from my sister. Unfortunately, that plant is no longer with us. It passed away. It got root rot. It's terrible, terrible illness.
R.I.P. to the jade plant.
Which means I feel a responsibility to nurture Stuart and make sure that he's okay.
Stuart is Jade.
Yeah.
Let's call it Jade. Jade's son.
Son, yeah. Jade's son. So got Mother Jade and little Stuart.
Yes.
And he's my little boy, and I love him very much.
Beautiful.
So, but then I've got other plants as well, but they don't all have names.
They don't all have names.
Not all of them. I've got an amaryllis called David, after the bloke who gave it to me. It didn't bloom this year, but it did bloom last year, and I actually put it on the collection. You know that we spoke about earlier in the podcast.
Yeah.
The team daily collections that were a way for us in lockdown to keep in contact and to show what we're doing. It was beautiful. 3 like white flowers with a bit of pink in them. Yeah. And then I've also got 2 spider plants called Herb and Spice, because the pot that I was given was it was from Morrison's. It was some pot that used to have herbs and spices in them, but now it has the spider plants. So Herb and Spice.
This is like way more names than I expected you to have. You literally.
I've not got any more.
Are they your children?
They are. Well, I've not got any pets or any kids.
It's all about the plants.
Exactly, and they don't take much. Just a bit of water,
Yeah.
Stroke
So
'em.
speaking of the water, you're quite. This is what what Mizpah said. You're quite ritualistic.
He said
in everything that
this
you do.
morning. He said that to me. I was getting the cameras ready and the tripods and the microphones for this podcast, and the way that I did it,
but it's true.
I don't know what he
with
means, but he said I did it in like a ritualistic way.
Yeah,
it's a process.
You do. It is a process, and you've said before. You've even used the word ritual, I think, before around the coffee machine when making a coffee. It's a
morning
ritual.
routine. It's a ritual. There's a process to it. You've got to respect the art, and if you want to have a good drink, you've got to appreciate the process. And then
apparently you put your face right up to the mug while you're pouring it and stuff.
I do, just because I like to get the full-bodied aroma.
Is that what that's about?
Of the beans and the milk and yeah, it's nice.
Love it. Okay, you're always eating.
I wouldn't. Maybe I don't know.
No, would you not say that? Always eating snacks and.
Well,
kind of like,
I wouldn't say. I mean, Mizpah's got a lot more snacks than I have.
Okay.
But after the day I had yesterday with the car, I did come back with a lot of snacks.
Right.
I came back to the office. I was like, I'm gonna have a feast. I've got my Pringles. I've got my Cadbury's chocolate. I'm good.
Well, I've got always eating and always at the coffee machine.
I wouldn't say I'm always at the. Well, recently I've been grinding my own beans and doing cafetiere, so I've not been, because we've got an espresso machine now. Our bean to cup machine, broke. And the problem with using pod machines is that there's a lot of waste, and you can recycle it, but it just builds up so much. So I'm trying to be more environmentally conscious, and I'm just brewing the beans, and you know what's cool as well? The beans make good compost after you brewed them. My mum has a problem with squirrels in her backyard, and for the last few weeks she's been getting me to collect my coffee granules and take them to her on the weekend.
Nice.
And then, but the problem is apparently they only last for 2 weeks and then they lose their effect. So I'm now burdened with this task for the rest of my life, collecting the beans and going to her house on the weekend and giving them to her.
You're always going to get these phone calls.
Yeah. Where are the beans? I mean,
where are the beans? I know,
because she doesn't drink coffee, so I have to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cool. It's nice. I like it.
It's a nice
good.
little task. I mean, you love the coffee, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I do.
You once got super sunburnt on a team holiday. Was that to Dubai?
We went to Dubai recently, which was a
yes.
great trip. It's one of the few places that at the time we could go because of restrictions with travel and so on.
That's right. Yes.
It's a very hot country, and I did get sunburnt. I was wearing sun cream, I promise you, but I did still.
This is not the recent one. I'm talking about one a while ago.
Oh, that was whilst we were in America visiting
okay.
users for the first time.
Right.
We're in Florida and we had 30 minutes to kill, so we went on the beach and I was red raw. I was like a lobster.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
So there's images of this which I tried to get hold of, but then I was told that.
I'm glad that you didn't.
He's in his underwear, so we can't show them.
Yeah, we're not.
It wouldn't be appropriate.
It would not be enjoyable for the viewer that wants to look at that.
Yeah, so you just have to use your imagination.
It was very uncomfortable though.
Just imagine Marcus.
I couldn't be touched. No one could come near me within like a 5 centimeter radius because I would feel it.
Feel the aura.
Yeah, it was,
and
it hurt.
I feel for you. Sunburn is not nice.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
You worked for Wakelet before they hired you. This is the last point. Right?
Oh yeah.
So you worked for Wakelet before they hired you.
I did do.
Was that a freelance job?
No, it was just out of pure determination to get here and
So
to
you
work here.
you wanted to work at Wakelet?
I did,
before?
because the thing is, so I was studying in Manchester, and I was going into my final year of education. It was a 3-year degree, and it was the summer months of 2017. And I'd met Jamil previously, and in fact, when I finished my first year of studies in 2016, I did try and get a job then. Wakelet was very new, and they were still working on the product. There was no need for marketing. They didn't need video production. So they said, well, we'll keep in contact. If there's any opportunities for you to do any career building or exercises or opportunities to help us out, then, we'll be in touch. But for now, we don't need video production. I was like, okay, great. But then when the window opened a year later, I hadn't finished my education. I was still a full-time student, but I had to get my foot in the door, because if I didn't, then someone else would. And it's a very competitive market, especially in Manchester. It's a very creative city, musically, visually, graphically. There's a lot of talented people and a lot of creative work. There's a lot of people who want to do creative work, but not a lot of work going, because everyone's doing it. Yeah. So I found a company that I liked. The team was cool. The office was amazing. The people were great. And I just had to, set a good impression and get in. And, with persistence, eventually I did. But it's
so
funny
you
because...
you created a project off your own back?
I did.
That was for Wakelet, like a video project?
Yeah. Jamil said, this is Misbah. Go out, spend an hour, just make a promo video about Wakelet and how Misbah uses Wakelet. And the use case that we had was Misbah was a record producer. He was a music producer. He had his own record label. And he had musicians and artists that worked for him. And he used Wakelet to promote them and collate them, and all the SoundCloud links and Spotify links and all the press and the Instagram posts were all put on Wakelet. And I thought, wow, this is a really cool platform, a really cool way of using it. And Misbah, wow, he must be really famous. He's not a record producer. I thought he was a record producer. I was bamboozled into making this video. And looking back on it, it's not an amazing video, but it's where it all started. And you know what? There'll be a link to that in the collection as well. Where you can go and watch that. And I genuinely thought he was some famous record producer who had all these artists that he did work for.
Did he know? Was he doing it on purpose?
He was doing it on purpose and to get the best out of me, because I was being tested. They wanted to see what I could cobble together a little Wakelet promo video.
See, this is great. Yeah. So you was in the middle of your studies, and you could have just said, I'm just going to finish university and just focus on that, but you went out of your way.
I was willing to actually postpone my education and go back to it, but in the end it was a case of, I'll do some work for you over the summer. Mm-hmm. September 2017 came around and I had to go back to uni, but I'd established a bit of a need. My skills were in need at Wakelet. They'd seen the value of what video can do and they wanted more of it. I couldn't just leave. I liked it here. So I found a way to and a lot of people do this, you just have to get on with it, complete my studies whilst at Wakelet, so juggling both full time. And Jam was very flexible when it came to the end of my degree. I was doing my dissertation and I needed time to write that and focus on it. But working at Wakelet didn't distract me from my course. I was still able to come out with good grades and make my mark here, and I'm very happy. So
yeah, well, you're certainly not work shy. I know that much. Well, after seeing you at Wakelet, yeah.
It feels like that sometimes. It's a lot of hours that I've had to be put in, but it's we've got a good team now, and
you're always busy. You're always busy, and it doesn't surprise me that you say you was doing this at the same time as doing university work, because I think you're a hard-working person basically, and this is the result of hard work. Look at what you've achieved and for Wakelet and for yourself. So you should be really proud. That's really.
Oh, thank you.
Wakelet's lucky to have you, Marcus.
Oh, well, we're lucky to have you. It's there's a lot of sentiment that we all feel towards you, and it's lovely for you to say that. Oh. And wherever you end up in the future, I hope you'll find happiness there.
Thank you very much.
It's been lovely having you, and so this series will live on. I'm not sure who will take the reins. I believe Sam's interested in giving it a go.
Yeah. Well, whether it's Sam or whether it's yourself or anyone, I'm sure they'll do a fantastic job. and I'm looking forward to watching them myself.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you better. We want to see your comments.
Yeah, definitely.
We want to see. You're still lurking in the shadows, just checking in.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah,
it's been great.
I'm sorry it's gone on for longer than expected.
Oh no, I think
a double whammy.
I kind of feel like this should be like a proper send off for you, and it's it's
yeah. Well, that was supposed to be kind of like a quick fire thing for you just to acknowledge some of them, but you actually had lots of stories to tell amongst them, which is good. Which is great. I just didn't expect that.
The universe has a way of putting you on a certain path, and it's up to you whether you want to accept it or if you really believe in something and you want to change it. But most times there's a reason for things happening, I believe. And even though at times that, the car breaks down, or oh, this thing goes wrong, and why is this happening to me? But you look back on it in a few years and something good happened because of that situation. Yeah. And at the time I was very stressed about, to be honest, I wasn't actually meant to study in Manchester. I was at a different city studying the year before. The course wasn't right for me, and I was a bit lost and I didn't know what to do. I dropped out of uni and I moved to Manchester and tried to make a new go of it. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have met Jam later that year, and I wouldn't have ended up sitting here talking to you. So at the time, that was quite an upsetting time of my life because I wasn't sure where I was going. But there's an inspirational quote somewhere, I can't think of it, but triumph comes from, I don't know what the quote is. There's something, you know what I mean? If I think of it, I'll put it on the collection.
I know what you're saying, but it's
things happen for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. Yeah, the universe has a way of kind of putting you on a certain path. I think that's what you said earlier. Yeah. Or something along those lines. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
And I'm thankful for all that's happened, good and bad. Yeah, and I hope for us at Wakelet and for yourself, our paths might be, going in different directions, but they will cross again.
Of course. Yeah, I'm sure they will. I guess we should wrap up there, right?
I guess we should. Well, I'll leave the honor for you.
I'm terrible at outro, so would you like to do the outro, Marcus?
I could not possibly take it from you. I couldn't possibly.
Let me give it a go one more time then.
Just one more time. For the team, for the users, for the community. This is Sean.
We are at Wakelet on all our social platforms, Instagram, Twitter. Find us at wakelet.com/@the Wakelet podcast. That's where we will show all our collections if you're not listening to it on there. We're also on Spotify, right? Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode.